cards and the, okay. All right. Someone help Sister Evelyn. I would like input from you guys. And what I want you to write down, one or as many as you can, new ways or different ways that we can be bringing people, or we can be doing something on a Thursday to bring people to the saving knowledge of Jesus Christ. What can we do? What can we do different? What haven't we touched on? I'm going to go over a list of stuff that we've already done and we will continue to do, but we have great opportunity. But what is it? One, in June, we're going to be doing water baptism. Those that are getting water baptized should be inviting friends and family. Just come and support me. We have had people years ago who got baptized and they invited their estranged spouse, and they end up coming to the church. And eventually they got water baptized. So here's what I want you to do. Write it down. The women's conference. We have the women's conference coming up. You invite people. Ladies would come out to things like that. Because it's not a church. Though it's in the church, it's really not a church event. They're going to come out for breakfast, for lunch, to hang out with other ladies, to win prizes. Our tailgate service is obviously a great way to invite people. Because people will come out just to hang out. Now, why do we do tailgate? Tailgate isn't just for us to fellowship. It's actually for us to invite those that would never come to a Sunday service to a tailgate. Our church is having a barbecue. You don't need to bring nothing but yourself. I like when Sister Lynn, when I ask her to do a flyer, and she always puts, invited guests. Guests, your job is to just bring an appetite. You're not invited, we're not inviting you to bring food. That's our job. We're the ones that are supposed to be hospitable, not the guest. We're supposed to bring hospitality to them. We'll be having our bicycle blessing again, not our bike blessing. Bike blessing is motorcycles. Bicycles is the pedals. You pedal. All right? We'll be doing that for the children. The men's luncheon. Men, invite friends, co-workers just to a luncheon. We don't preach a lot at those things, so they will feel comfortable. Invite people. So I want you guys to speak to me. Speak to me. What should we do, or what can we do different? The movie night last Friday, Good Friday, was a tremendous success. We had almost more people there than some Sundays. And we had visitors. We had school people. We had outside people that never came to the church. That's why we do events like that, to bring people to Christ, not to us. It's not about us. So start writing. And as you're writing, I'm going to ask you a very important question. If you were to die tonight, not that Jesus is coming back, if you personally were to die tonight, how would you justify going to heaven? What would your answer be? Okay, say it. Say it. Okay. What else? Who else? If you were to die tonight, how do you justify that you have a right to heaven? Believe me, if I were to ask that, a lot of people would say, I did this, I did this, I did that. No. There's one answer. Jesus. It's actually, I'm going to borrow something from Alistair Begg. I'm in heaven because of the man on the middle cross that I could come. Did you ever hear that story? He preached that? I'll tell it to you. The thief on the cross that made it home to paradise gets there. Now, it's an exaggeration. It's a story. Don't say, well, you're theologically incorrect. So the angel says, what are you doing here? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? How'd you get here? I don't know. Did you do anything to get here? I don't know. Well, I need to get my supervisor angel. The supervisor angel comes and says, have you been water baptized? No. What about justification? I don't know about that. Then how come you are here? He goes, because the man on the middle cross told me I could come. That's our answer of justifying us to go to heaven. We can do nothing. We did nothing. And that's what we need to impart into others, because all of us believe this before we got saved. Well, I was a good person. I was a good person. I belong in heaven. There are a lot of good people in hell. Years ago, I was not saved. My cousin's getting married. Sal, were you in Sal Mass's wedding? All right, so we're there. And my cousin, for some reason, none of us were, great Catholics. I guess his wife wanted all the bridal party to take communion. And we're like looking at the priest, like, you out of your mind? He goes, all right, let's make this easy. Did any of you commit murder? No. Okay, you can receive. Not true. Not true. Because first of all, murder in God's eyes is no different than any other sin. Sin is sin. We want to say that, well, I'm not a sinner like that guy was, so I belong in heaven. No, you don't belong in heaven. You're in heaven because of the guy on the middle cross. That's it. It's the only reason why you're in heaven. So, you have some things written down? All right, Pastor John, read one of them. What can we do on a Thursday night to get people in here so that we can lead them? We don't save them. Let's get this straight, right? You guys are all the mature ones. If I say this on a Sunday, people think that we save them. We do nothing but introduce them to Jesus Christ. It's the Holy Spirit that convicts them to salvation. Pastor John. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. At least we'll try to get some young people in here. So you want to get more food in here then. By the way, you guys did a great job cleaning up the popcorn. Frank found one popcorn Sunday, and he made sure he let me know. Caesar vacuumed this place. So what does that prove to me? We can do something like that again. You guys did what you had to do. All right, so we have do like a cafe worship. I really like doing an all worship night maybe on a Thursday. We may not even have to do live worship. Just play all YouTube videos. Just a night of worship. We make it intimate, close down the lights, and maybe have some snacks. All right, Trace, what do you have? See you writing a lot. Nice. Food and ice cream truck. I could bring my friend Santiago, Lillian's cousin. If we do it too many times, then it doesn't work, but we'll do it every now and then. What's that? Christian play with the children. Okay, she's not here. Say that last one. Book club. All right, well, that's not going to get them in here, but okay. Sight and sound, they got to get here to go. All right. Who else? Jerry. Yeah, give them all. I like that. Lillian actually told me that yesterday, that they used to do in her old church Bible trivia. Bible trivia night. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm not into that, but okay. It's not about me. It really isn't about me. Okay. That's actually a great idea. It's almost like doing little cell groups, individual cell groups, but with a specific purpose. If you're into cooking, we're going to go to BB's house. We're going to learn how to cook. All right. Nancy. Game night. That's good. Okay. I like the cooking class. Now the problem is we don't have really burners in there. Maybe Jimmy could get us those propane burners. And Jimmy can maybe. Yes, Bibi. Yeah, she's coming back because I said we're going to her house to cook. Good. Scavenger hunt. The youth used to do that, right, Pastor John? Talent show, almost like what Ephraim used to do with the premiere. I actually like the first one with the meatball contest or the mac and cheese, so that because it opens it up. I actually told Jimmy that his next chili event should not just be for men. It should be done on a Sunday for the whole church. Who wants to make chili, and we'll have a chili contest with the whole church. Some will eat, some will judge. You need to invite, and you would have to invite people. So we would, for chili, notoriously firemen come out. So we would have to invite the Nutley Fire Department, the Belleville Fire Department, come out. We're having a chili contest. We want you to be the judge. So that's how you get people into the house to let them know. Because believe it or not, I've told this story many times that people still don't know we're here. Church is 106 years old. And they still, that's a church? That's a school? I thought it was just an office building. They don't even know we're here. So by doing things like that, getting out to the town, you're inviting the town. That's why I like how both the men's ministry now, the men's ministry and the women's ministry, we're just not in-house. Nancy invites other churches. Their ladies come out. You know, you've heard of the men's conference, which does attract a lot of bikers. I mean, we had bikers coming in from Indiana, Chicago. You know, forget it. When they come in from Pennsylvania, now it doesn't mean anything. The Poconos, Pennsylvania, the Bronx, Brooklyn. All right, we expect you guys to be here. But when they start coming in, and we were even told this year by one of our guys who was the guest speaker 2 years ago, we call him Joe Bongo. He lives down the Orlando area. He said, you have to get off the week that you have because that's Daytona Bike Week. Because believe me, we advertise you guys down here. Because guys from Florida would literally ride up for this. But you have to get off Bike Week because most people are going to Daytona. All right. I like that. Yes. Of course you don't agree with me. Okay. So you're saying have a whole class just on public speaking? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. You wrote that down, right? Well, how am I going to remember that? You think you're going to remember all these things without you writing it down? Write it down. I took public speaking in high school. I took drama classes in high school. In college, I took public speaking again. And I took television and broadcasting because I really wasn't one to speak. I was forcing myself. So not bad, not bad. Not that we're going to do all of these, but we need suggestions. All right, who else has something else? Something off the wall? Yes, Al. So, Patty, I like the children thing. In fact, I spoke to, what's that? Dunk the pastor. I'm up for that. Come on, I did pie. They pied me. They pied me and Patty, and I did make more money than anybody else. You got pie too? I still made the most money. Really? I don't remember. Hold on. I like the children's thing. Yep. We need to, because we need to reach out to the community. You know, I've suggested to Eddie and to Jimmy that I want to do a family night or a family day. We'll get some bouncy houses here. But mine was smaller because we have some friends from the Bronx who live in projects. Their children, they come here. It's like oh my goodness, they're in the woods. Like, so just to get them out of the inner city. And sometimes we need to do that. We look at this and we say, I really look at my area and say, what is this? But for people who live in the inner city, this is big. They come out, we give them food, we give a barbecue, and we do bouncy houses, face painting, dunk elder patty. All right, who else? Gene, you had something. A concert. Okay. An ice cream gathering. All right, that's good. We could do that on a Thursday night and invite people. We do it right in the garden court. All right. Well, and we try to do a church picnic, but we can invite outsiders. You do invite Ron. I know Ron comes. He likes to eat, so we have to have more stuff for Ron. More food so we can get Ron here more often. All right. Gabby, you have anything? Bingo. Well, here's the fine line with that. We still have people, and I'm going to use you guys, that they would consider that gambling. So, be honest. If we were to do bingo night, how many would be offended by it? Raise your hand. Be honest. If you're going to be offended by us doing bingo. Well, but you need to give prizes. You have to have something. Right. All right. Danny was going to comment on this. Well, you have to buy the bingo cards. You have to, when you play bingo, you have to buy a card in front of you. Yes, you do. Every bingo. All right. Well, I'm okay with that. All right. So no money ever exchanges. You just win a prize. Okay. All right. Hold on. Hold on. Jerry had his hand up. Hold on. Are you really think an outside person is going to come to win a Bible? Right. When we do silent auction, that's technically it's silent auction. It's well, it's not bingo, but it's a silent auction. That's what they're called. It's still gambling. That's what you're trying to tell me. It's still gambling. Frank. But for church people, it is. Some people. That's why we have this group here. We want to make sure that nobody's going to get offended and walk out of the church. Because listen, all right. As much as you may get upset with this, I'm responsible for everybody in this church. So just say Gabby leaves the church and she falls away from the Lord, And Judgment Day comes, and the Lord's going to say, well, what about Gabby? You chased her out because you had bingo. You were her pastor. I'm still the one that has to be responsible. So that's why we're having this discussion. That's why I said this is an interactive service. So we may shelve bingo because we don't want nobody to, because somebody said, well, it's still gambling because I'm coveting that prize. So we just need to, I will check with other people who've been here a whole lot longer than myself. I've asked one of our pillars of the house where they live, they do pizza bingo. I don't know how they do it. They said, well, if we do that here, would you get offended? He goes, absolutely not. Me and my wife will be the first ones here. So we'll have, bingo we need to investigate that more. Gene. A healing service. We've done them, and we could do that again, where we even gave out the little, healing slips. All right, how about this? I want to throw this out to you. I checked, but I still want this congregation. During the summer on a Thursday night outside, we do an animal blessing. Would anybody be offended by that? The Bible says, Proverbs 12:10, even a righteous man's beasts are blessed. God created, God blessed all the animals in Genesis. So no offense. So I'm going to do an animal blessing then. Because I prayed over it, even when Bishop was alive. We had a lady here who came and the dog was close to being put down. And she wanted prayer. And Bishop said, do you believe you could pray for that dog, Lou? I says, yeah. He goes, then go downstairs and pray. We met in the parking lot. We prayed. The dog lasted a few more months. We did that with Tommy's dog. Tommy had a couple dogs. Him and Sally brought the dogs on a Thursday night. We anointed them. We prayed over them. So animal blessing is good, right? No one's going to say, what's this, a Catholic church? And we're praying to St. Francis of Assisi? We're praying to Jesus. Animal blessing is fine. Okay, that's a good one. Good one. Whoever said that. All right. Anyone else? Jorge, I'm coming to you. What do you have? Okay, movie night. Now, here's the thing. We can't do things like so often that it becomes repetitious, because here's what happens. If you do it the first time, it's a success. Second time, it's a minor success. But a third, fourth time, people stop coming. So that's why you have to do things sporadically. You can't do something every month. You can't do something every week. We see that even with the tailgates. The first one's always crowded, 100 people. And then by October, it kind of weans down. October usually does good because it's the last one. But in between, it kind of winds itself down. Anybody else have anything to add to this? Yes, Emilio, let's hear from the young people. A Q&A. That's a great, in fact, Lillian and myself were working on that for Bible school, Bible study next semester, not this coming semester up, but the one in September. And once a month we have a panel right here, or we'll do it in the garden court so people can still eat. And questions? Wow. So that's a good one, Emilio. Invite other from denominations, other religions, and we'll have a very well-informed panel so that they can answer the questions and answer it correctly. Right? Anyone else want to add to this conversation? Yes, Gina. we've been trying to do the Oktoberfest, and we'll be doing one again the first, I think, Saturday in October. But yes, so like we used to do the carnival. Someone just talked to me about the carnival. Now, we had issues with the carnival. That's why we were the only people that had a carnival that never made no money. So much so that the guy who was running the carnival said, I don't want to do this no more. I never make money when at your place because we put so much restrictions on it. You had to come and sign up at the prayer tent before you could even enter the con. And people said, but I just want to take my kids to the carnival. Back to the gambling. We couldn't have games of chance. You know, put the money down, spin the wheel. We only had games of skill. Games of chance. Draw people. I would never do this. Other carnivals make their